Hello and welcome back to another tutorial on how to make a hex-based board game in Unreal Engine. I'm coming back to this, part 4 of this video, which we're obviously a lot further along in the full tutorial series. But um, as I migrated from Unreal Engine 4 to 5, probably about a year ago at this point, this video has been coming up with some issues on the tiles replicating. So if you're having issues between the server and the client where both aren't seeing the same terrain type on the tiles, this is the video to fix it. If things are working for you on your end and you're not having any issues with tiles, feel free to skip this video and move on to the next one on the playlist. But if you are, I will go through how to fix that in this video, so you're good to go. Things might look a little bit different than where you're at right now in the tutorials. So I'm coming back, a year later pretty much, and now we're on Unreal Engine 5, and that tutorial started in 4, but it should still work. So two things you need for the fix are the BP tile hex grid, so your manager, so your kind of manager class, and then your BP hex tile. And your tile grid coming off of your begin play, you should have this logic here where you're doing a for each loop for all of your statics, deleting them, and then you probably have this right plugged into a switch as authority. You can actually just get rid of this. This is already running on the server. This actor manager actor class. After that, you should be doing something like this, right? And then spawning all of your tiles, adding them into this array variable. And then this is the important part. Well, getting into the important part, you should have this function, set tiles, actors, right, grabbing all of our information from the table, and then running this function, starting settings. And this runs in each individual tile, and this is really the key piece here, this switch on enumeration. So this is where you're actually setting what material for the tile type. And then most of your logic probably looks like this. Now, we're going to switch this out to something that will work better. I think the problem that's happening for a lot of you is your client or your server is initializing. Thus, this event is running, and it's running to completion before the client initializes. So it's just a timing issue. You could fix it with a delay. You just put that here or here, but we're going to go through a more stable method, to fix it and replicate a little bit better. So the way we do that is you're going to need to create a new variable. So your variables, you should have a plus button here, and call it tile material. I already have one, so I'm not going to create it, but create a new material and switch it to type, variable type material. So just click this, object reference. And then this is an important piece. After you have this created, make sure to compile. And then under replication, you should be able to click down and see an option for rep notify. So change this variable to that type and then compile again. When you come back to the left and you scroll up into your functions, you should see an on-rep tile material. So this function gets created automatically whenever you set a material to rep notify. Yours is going to be completely blank to start, so let me strike this away. What this means is anytime this variable is set, it'll run the logic bundled within this function. So this function here that got created by Unreal Engine runs hand in hand with setting this material. So as long as or this variable, which is material. So as long as we set this variable on the server, it'll run this logic, and then it will replicate to all the relevant clients, which will fix some of the replication issues some of you are having. So let's come back into our logic. You got the starting settings. Double check you have that set to run on server, reliable. Right? We have a little bit of logic. We're setting some text. We're doing whatever this stuff is up here. But this is the important piece on this switch. So like I said, your logic probably looks like this. You come off the tile type. You set the tile mesh to a specific type. and then we're setting the material manually, and then setting this world scale, and then setting this can be traversed. And again, yours might be a little bit different, but I'm fairly certain you have this piece. The set material for the tile mesh is the part we're going to be replacing out. So what we'll do here is, so make a note of what your material is, right? So when we come off water, I'm setting it to water ocean. So I'm just going to drag some of this over a little bit to give myself some space. So what we'll do is drag your material in and do set material, and then set it to whatever the material is supposed to be. So here's my M water ocean, this one. And then I can just get rid of this, plug this in, then pass this through. So we're going to do that off of all of our switches. The other thing we need to do is within our function, actually write the logic we want it to do. So again, this logic will run anytime we set this variable, which we just added that logic in here. We got to go through all the different types and do it. But the way we'll do this then is, let me get rid of this. I'll walk you through it. So we're trying to set the material for our tile mesh, right? So if you look up top left in your components, here's tile mesh. Grab this, drag off this, set material. Okay, plug this in. And now this seems a little weird, but right, what are we going to set the material to? Well, we're going to set the material to the tile material, right? And we're setting that here. So I'm saying the tile material, right, if the tile type is water, is the M water ocean. And then it's going to set the tile mesh to the water ocean in here. So hopefully that makes sense, but this is being set right before this, and because it's set, we're running this logic, and now it's going to set the material onto the tile mesh. One thing too, just to double check, on your tile mesh, we are specifically setting element index 0. So if you look at your tile, where we have element 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, if you've made your own tile or are using something a little bit different than me, yours might be in a different order. For me, let's go into the viewport. Right, 0 is this top terrain part, so that's what I want to set, and that's consistent across all mine. But if you're having an issue there, just check what element you're actually setting, because maybe yours are in a different order. And if that's the case, just switch this from 0 to, whatever else is going to be. Okay, so let's go through all of this quick. So next, I'm setting my grass. So M ground grass, and then I can kill this, plug this in. Okay. And this one's also M ground grass, M ground grass, M ground grass, M ground grass. Huh. A lot of grass in a row. So I'm just deleting those, and I can just copy and paste this down. Different meshes, obviously, but and again, like if what this is doing doesn't make sense, basically right now, for most of you, you're likely having a timing issue, right? It takes a couple seconds for the client to actually load into the game, and this bundle of logic's already been done. In the legacy method, let's see, we're doing rock, sandstone. This rep notify will run anytime it'll run once it's the variable set, but the server will also, for lack of a better word, detect if a client needs to know this information later, and then it will refresh it for them. So rep notify variables are really powerful, really good ways to manage replication. And rock basalt. Okay. And rock basalt. Okay. Pile, save. And we've got a couple more down here. Sandstone, grass, grass. I'm just going to copy and paste this. Here's my sandstone one. Two grass. Okay, that should be what we need. So now let's test it. And again, make sure to, right, if you click on these epaulets, I think they're called, go to your net mode, make sure you're on a listen server. Right, we'll just test with 2 players quick. So here's my server. Oh, lagging out. 1 sec. Oop. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now you should have things matching. I'm just going to bring the server over to what the client's seeing. Right, and we can see left and right, grass, grass, desert, right, grass, right. This all looks the same. So this is where you should be now. Your tiles should be completely replicating. You should see the same static mesh, right? Mountains, forests, keeps, all that. You should see the same materials and everything else. So hopefully this helps those of you that were having issues. If you're still having issues, let me know. Again, we've got the Discord going. Great place to get help and post screenshots. That's the best way. If not, just comment here as well. But yeah, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.